Hello and good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos. Well, Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob clocked in at the Deputy Prime Minister's office at Perdana Putra in Putrajaya today to start his duty as the number 2 leader in the country's administration. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri arrived at the Perdana Putra compound at 10 a.m. and was welcomed by the Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, and a Senior Deputy Secretary General of the Prime Minister's Department, Dato Jamil Rakon. Now, Dato Sri Ismail Sabri, 61, was appointed Deputy Prime Minister last Wednesday while retaining the portfolio as Defence Minister. And after clocking into his office, which is on level 4, he then signed the welcome book, following which a prayer led by Integrity Officer in the Prime Minister's Department, Mohammad Reza Ahmad, was held before he attended the National Security Council, the MKN Emergency Sessions meeting, which was held virtually with Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. Well, through his Facebook page, he expressed his gratitude for the appointment and regarded it as a bigger trust given to him. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri, who is also Burra Member of Parliament and UMNO Vice President, has vast experience in politics and government administration, having held several ministerial positions before, including as Minister of Youth and Sports, Minister of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, and Minister of Rural and Regional Development. Malaysia recorded the highest number of new daily COVID-19 cases today, as the Health Ministry reported 9,180 infections. And according to a statement by Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, well, 7 of the cases reported today were imported cases, while the remaining were local transmissions. Now, Selangor remains the state with the highest new number of infections, with a staggering 4,400 cases reported, followed by Kuala Lumpur with 1,271 cases and Negeri Sembilan 899 cases. Meanwhile, 5,713 recoveries were recorded, bringing the total recovery tally to 731,193, equivalent to an 89.41% recovery rate. Now, following this development, there are currently 80,665 active cases being monitored by the MOH. This includes 959 cases treated in intensive care units or ICUs, with 465 of them requiring respiratory aid. The MOH also reported 77 new COVID-19 related deaths in the past 24 hours, taking the country's death toll to 5,980. Selangor is expected to move to phase 2 of the movement control under the National Recovery Plan, or PPN, in August or September, after meeting the key threshold value indicators set by the government for transition between phases. Menteri Besar Dato Sri Amiruddin Syari said that the vaccination rate in Selangor could reach 10% within a week, but the number of cases in the state was still high and the health system was affected by the use of beds in the intensive care unit, the ICU.
Tapi saya jangkakan kalau kita berjaya melengkapkan 2 minggu ataupun lebih, paling lama saya rasa sebulan untuk PKPD ini di Selangor, saya percaya by bulan 8 atau bulan 9 kita boleh masuki fasa 2 dan pantas untuk masuki fasa 3. Sebab vaksinasi kita akan pantas.
He said this today after visiting Taman Murni, which has been placed under the Enhanced Movement Control Order EMCO since 30th June. During his visit, Dato Sri Amiruddin also witnessed the vaccinations of more than 1,000 adults in Taman Murni, which was held for 2 days starting today. The EMCO in the area involves about 1,600 residents. Well, a total of 376,909 doses of COVID-19 vaccine were administered yesterday, which is the highest number given in a day so far. And according to a Twitter post by Health Minister Dato Sri Dr. Adam Baba, well, of the total doses administered yesterday, 153,982 were for the second dose recipients. Well, the states with the highest recipients who had completed both doses of the vaccine are Selangor with 88,376 people and Sarawak with 70,447. This was followed by Kuala Lumpur with 52,515 recipients, Johor 23,589 recipients, and Negeri Sembilan with 22,686 recipients. Dr. Sri Dr. Adam further explained, as of yesterday, a total of 10,413,270 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine had been administered. Now, from the total, 3,190,789 of them were administrations for the second dose. Meanwhile, Deputy Health Minister Dr. Azmi Ghazali urged the public to avoid making jokes about hollow or empty vaccine shots. Well, he strictly said it is impossible for a vaccination in which no vaccine was administered in the shot to occur to any recipients.
Ini boleh menyelamatkan nyawa kita dan seluruh rakyat Malaysia. Jadi nak buat lawak ni bukan masa dia. Itu jawapan satu je, tak boleh jadi. Sebab kita ada 2-3 orang cek. Bukan seorang cek tau. Dia bila keluar tu farmasi cek. Farmasi mesti cek botol dia doktor ya. Botol tu bukan kita buang, kita tengok. Kita cek balik. Jadi saya tak mau tuduh lah kan, tapi I don't believe lah.
He reiterated that the administration of COVID-19 vaccines are held to the highest standards and their methodologies determined by the Health Ministry. On Thursday, a man in Kapar, Klang, made a police report after he was allegedly injected with a hollow jab for his COVID-19 vaccination at Hospital Banting, Selangor. On another note, Dr. Azmi said the report documents to allow doctors employed on a contract basis to be upgraded to a permanent status will be tabled to the Cabinet this month. He also expressed hope that those concerned can remain patient while the process is being carried out.
Di kementerian ni, saya terus terang cakap lah, banyak kali kita berbincang. We are very concerned. Kita sangat-sangat menitik berat tentang nasib anak-anak kita. Yang doktor ni anak-anak kita sebenarnya, kan? Berlapis tu anak-anak kita. Dan kita telah berusaha untuk mengharmonikan UD 41 kepada UD 43. Maknanya gaji je jadi sama. Walaupun dia kontrak dengan pembina gaji hampir sama. Dan privilege yang didapat oleh pembina tu, kita sedang berusaha untuk mendapatkan kedudukan yang lebih baik. Maknanya kita cuba nak usahakan supaya doktor kontrak ni dapat permanent dan juga dapat menyambung kepakarannya nanti.
Dr. Azmi explained this when met during his visit to the Dewan Millennium Kepala Batas Pulau Pinang Vaccine Distribution Center. He also said the effort is hoped to increase and fortify the workforce of the Health Ministry. Well, coming up, government, 1MDB sued KPMG partners for $23.63 billion. But first, well, police in Shah Alam have crippled a drug distribution ring and seized drugs worth about 44 million ringgit. Now, Selangor Police Chief Dato' Arjunaidi Mohammed said 10 raids were conducted around Selangor on Monday and 14 individuals aged from 20 to 70 were arrested. Well, following the arrests, Dato' Arjunaidi said police uncovered 3 storage facilities and seized 431 packages of shabu, 863 slabs of heroin, and 2,000 Eramin 5 pills weighing a total of 764.34 kilograms. In a virtual press conference today, he said 6 suspects have prior criminal records for murder, attempted murder, rioting, and other drug-related offences. Well, of the 14 suspects, 10 men and 3 women were local, while another woman was a Vietnamese national. Well, he said they also seized 5 vehicles, 61,209 ringgit in cash, and an assortment of foreign currency. The suspects have been remanded for 7 days beginning 6 July, and the case is investigated under Section 39B, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. 84 members of a loan shark syndicate actively promoting their business through social media have successfully been apprehended. Investigations reveal that the syndicate had been operating for the past 3 years. According to Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department CCID Director Dato Muhammad Kamarudin Madin, the suspects aged between 20 and 59 years old were arrested in a special operation on Tuesday and Wednesday. The syndicate network is suspected to have operated in Pulau Pinang, Kuala Lumpur, Kelantan, Sabah and Sarawak. Well, among the medium used by the syndicate were Facebook, WeChat and WhatsApp.
Individu berbahasa Cina, 12 individu berbahasa Melayu dan 7 individu berbahasa India dan seorang individu berbahasa Liban. Dan kadar faedah pinjaman yang diberikan adalah 10 hingga 15% bagi tempoh seminggu.
Also confiscated were 21 cars, 45,000 ringgit cash and almost 200 ATM cards. The case is being investigated under the Money Lenders Act 1951. Well, the Malaysian government and 1MDB have filed a $5.64 billion or 23.63 billion ringgit lawsuit against 44 partners of audit firm KPMG Malaysia over alleged negligence and breach of contract in its audit of 1MDB's financial statements from the year 2010 to 2012. Now, the plaintiffs are claiming losses over breaches that KPMG's partners allegedly committed in their role as auditor for 1MDB. So in the statement of claim, the plaintiffs said more than $5.6 billion had been misappropriated from 1MDB under the direction of former Prime Minister Dato Seri Najib Razak. The misappropriation was implemented by management through various fraudulent transactions perpetrated on 1MDB to the benefit of Dato Seri Najib and his affiliates and contrary to the interests of 1MDB and MOF Incorporated Malaysia. Well, of the 5.64 billion ringgit, or rather $5.64 billion, the sum of $3.197 billion was misappropriated in 2010, 2011 and 2012 when KPMG was the auditor for 1MDB. The government said it also suffered losses in the form of irrecoverable advances to bail out 1MDB and its subsidiaries from its liabilities under various debt securities. Well, the plaintiffs said KPMG had failed to bring to light matters relating to discrepancies in 1MDB's joint venture deal with Petro Saudi International and that none of the misappropriation under Dato Seri Najib's directions were reported by KPMG during the time it acted as auditor for 1MDB. A 60-year-old former general manager of Kelantan Sendirian Berhad, or AKSB, has been remanded for 3 days since yesterday by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, the MACC, to assist in the investigation of corruption involving projects worth more than 27 million ringgit from 2015 to 2019. Well, also remanded were a 39-year-old AKSB officer and a 43-year-old project manager. Now, the 3 men were arrested between 4:25 and 6:30 p.m., having their statements recorded at the Kelantan MACC office yesterday. It is understood that their remand is to facilitate further investigations on allegations of their involvement in accepting bribes from a company to obtain projects and work from AKSB, which is also a subsidiary of the Kelantan Menteri Besar Corporation. According to MACC sources, the arrests were made following tip-offs from the public, and further investigation would be conducted in accordance with Section 16 of the MACC Act 2009. Meanwhile, a senior police officer with the rank of ASP has been remanded for 4 days starting today for allegedly soliciting bribes worth 200,000 ringgit from a drug-dealing couple. It is understood that the 48-year-old officer was arrested by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Kelantan in Kota Bharu at 10 a.m. yesterday. Well, the remand order was issued by Magistrate Rosadi Yaakob at the Kota Bharu Magistrates Court 2. Kelantan MACC Director Rosli Hussain confirmed the arrest when contacted. Well, he said the police officer was believed to have asked for the bribe 3 months ago as an inducement not to take action in a drug-related case. It was said that the police officer was given 100,000 ringgit recently. Rosli said MACC is still investigating the case and is not ruling out the possibility that several other individuals are also involved. He said it was the largest in terms of value uncovered by Kelantan MACC this year. The case is being investigated under Section 17A of the MACC Act 2009. A former beauty queen was charged at the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court today with punching a policeman and drug abuse. Kohinoor Damodaran Kaitiani, 29, who was Miss Universe Malaysia 2015 finalist, however, pleaded not guilty to both charges before Magistrate Zafran Rahim Hamza. Well, according to the charge sheet, the accused had allegedly used criminal force by punching Corporal Sharul Arifin Sarmadan near Jalan University about 3 a.m. on Thursday. Well, she was charged under Section 353 of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum 2 years jail or fine or both upon conviction. She was also charged with abusing dangerous drug tetrahydrocannabinol at Petaling Jaya Police Headquarters at 2 p.m. on the same date. The offence falls under Section 15, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, which carries a maximum 5 years jail and 20,000 ringgit fine on conviction. The court set 3,000 bail for all charges and fixed 6th October for mention. And during the same proceedings, Kohinoor's friend, Kwek Shen Tieng, 33, was also slapped with abusing drugs at the same place and time. And the court set 1,500 ringgit bail and fixed 1st October for mention. It was reported that a former beauty queen was arrested after she allegedly crashed into a roadblock on the federal highway near Petaling Jaya before punching a policeman. Well, national men's singles badminton ace Lee Zijia can look forward to an easy passage into the next round after the Tokyo Olympics grouping draw was favorable to him. Now, the 9th-seeded Zijia, who is also 2012, or rather 2021, All England champion, was drawn in Group M, together with 2 European players, namely French shuttler Bryce Leverdes and Artem Pochtarov of Ukraine. Well, in the men's doubles category, Aaron Chia and So Hui-Yik were placed in Group D with the second-seeded Indonesian pair Hendra Setiawan and Muhammad Ahsan, Choi Sol-gyu and Seo Sung-jae of South Korea, and Canadian pair Jason Anthony Ho and Shu Neil Yakura. Rio 2016 mixed doubles silver medalists Chan Peng-soon and Go Liu Ying were drawn in Group D alongside 2019 World Championships bronze medalists and second seed Wang Yi Liu and Huang Dongping of China, Mark Lamphus and Isabel Hetrich of Germany, and Tang Chunman and Zi Yin Sweat of Hong Kong. Meanwhile, women's singles shuttler Sonia Chia was drawn in Group N with 5th seed from Thailand Ratchanok Itanoin and Laura Saragosi of Hungary. Well, a bumpy road, however, lies ahead for national women's doubles pair Chao Mei Kwan and Lee Meng Yen as they were drawn in Group A alongside first-seeded Sayaka Hirota and Yuki Fukushima of Japan, Apriyana Rahayu and Gracia Poli of Indonesia, and Chloe Birch and Lauren Smith of Great Britain. The badminton competition will get underway from 24th July to 2nd August at the Musashino Forest Sport Plaza. The Olympics will take place without spectators in host city Tokyo, as organizers said, as a resurgent coronavirus forced Japan to declare a state of emergency in the capital that will run throughout the Games. Well, the move marked a sharp turnabout from as recently as last week, when some officials were still insisting they could organize the Games safely with some fans. It will but strips the global sporting showpiece, which is due to start on 23rd July and run until 8th August, of its last vestiges of pomp and public spectacle. Well, Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said it was essential to prevent Tokyo, where the highly contagious Delta variant of COVID-19 variant was spreading, from becoming a flashpoint of new infections. Now, people will also be asked not to gather for events on public roads, such as the triathlon, though officials said some venues outside the Greater Tokyo metropolitan area would allow small numbers of spectators. Well, once seen as an opportunity for Japan to shine on a global stage after a devastating earthquake, tsunami and nuclear disaster over the past decade. The Games were postponed last year due to the pandemic and have been hit by massive budget overruns. Well, much of Japan's population is still not vaccinated against COVID-19, stoking fears that an influx of thousands of athletes and officials will fuel more infections. And that concludes this evening's News at 10. In our top story, Selangor targets moving to phase 2 of PPN by September. Well, join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM. Have a pleasant evening and stay safe.